Welcome back to another episode of Beyond the Sold Sign Real Estate Unplugged. We are your host and favorite realtors, Naya
and Lauren.
And we are so excited that you are back with us for another episode, another week. Let's jump right into this week's story.
So imagine showing up to settlement and your seller just doesn't show up. I mean, like, no call, no show, no explanation. Well, that's what happens in this story. Everything was on track. The home was staged, listed, shown, and under contract with great buyers. Inspections passed, appraisal came back clean, and all docs were in. On the morning of settlement, everyone shows up. The buyer, the agents, title company, and then silence from the seller. Turns out the seller had second thoughts, but didn't tell anyone. They ghosted completely, ignored texts, skipped town, and didn't return calls for 3 days. Everyone was blindsided. The buyer had already packed and scheduled movers. The seller finally resurfaced with a vague statement about not being emotionally ready to let go. As agents, this is just one kind of like helpless feeling when someone just refuses to follow through. Contracts are binding, but enforcing them means court, time, costs, and sometimes buyers just walk away. I don't get that part. Sometimes buyers just walk away. What does that mean?
Like, instead of maybe enforcing, because they were in a legal contract, maybe the buyers would have just been like, forget you and the house.
Instead of doing all this.
Instead of putting them through that process.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Well, putting the seller and themselves through that process.
True, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
What would, if a seller didn't show up, I would...
Wait, are you working with the seller or the buyer?
Either one, but oh my gosh. Yes. If I was working with the seller and you didn't show up, I really would be like melting in my chair.
Yeah.
If I was with the buyers, like, obviously I still feel terrible, but my people are here.
Right. And the seller's like, you could have signed early.
Yeah.
Even though obviously
they were not going to sign early, clearly.
Not ready at all. That's why I like when sellers sign early. Because I know they are like done.
Yeah,
they're out the way.
On both sides. Yeah. Sign early.
So I don't have to worry,
why not?
Don't have to worry about it.
Why would we not sign early?
And it's like a few days, but I understand like you weren't emotionally ready to let go, but you trying to tell me that you did all this work to get your house on the market. Okay, say it.
No. Like, I was going to say, you can't decide on signing day that you're not emotionally ready when we already did all these other things.
You had all this time to prepare.
To be emotionally ready.
You had at least 30 days to prepare yourself. The whole time you were under contract, inspections. At some point during that time frame, you could have been like, you know what? I don't think I can go through with this. But day of signing? Jeez.
That's not fair. That's not fair.
So then in that case, and I'm like, yeah, okay, buyers, yeah, you can just go ahead and walk away.
But like, and that's not even a resolution either, because my stuff is packed up. The U-Haul the people are outside of the building.
Yeah. Like, and where the hell do I go to live? Yeah. I have nowhere.
My stuff is packed. I'm going to that house today.
I don't care if you're there or not.
I'm going to that house today. No.
But what do you do? Like, I wonder what happened, because it does not say if the buyer...
I mean he eventually resurfaced, but I don't know if that was on the same day.
No, it was 3 days later.
Oh, I'm sorry. 3 days later.
But you resurfaced with a vague statement about not being emotionally ready to let go. So... Oh, I was about to call your name out who submitted this story. I want to know, did they, like... What happened? When they came back with the statement and they resurfaced, did they resurface with just a phone call and saying, hey, I wasn't ready to let go? Did y'all get to the closing table? What happened here? Because I just want to know.
I just feel like now I need to be compensated for that undue stress.
You got to.
And not me, but the buyers.
Yeah.
But me, sure.
Right.
But I'm saying
pays our commission
the
too.
buyer, like, because the buyers then had to shift around, figuring out where they were going to go. Mm-hmm. They had their stuff packed up.
Yep. That costed them money.
Like, that was so unfair, because the process, selling a home, buying a home, it's emotional for everybody involved. So all of that is valid to not be ready to let go and all the things.
Yeah.
But you're in a legal contract, and like at the end of the day, it's also a business transaction happening. So it's legal, it's a business transaction happening, and so that was unfair and kind of selfish to do that.
Very. You sometimes have to take the emotional part out of it.
Yes.
Or go through all your emotions prior to listing the house. So that way you don't have to worry about this when you get to the closing table. And, you know,
and you can be at the closing table emotional.
Right. It's nothing wrong with
tissues,
that.
a tear, whatever you need. Like, all that is fine.
Yeah.
But it's not fair to do that to the buyers and put them through another, like, hurdle and delay and barrier into getting into the home that y'all all agreed
to
upon.
Right. Doing 30 days. Everything that the buyer has done, they've done it in 30 days. Ooh. They got inspections. They pay for the inspections. They got an appraisal. They pay for appraisal. Like, you got to give them their money back. And everyone else who went through this process, I mean, sellers are usually the ones that are paying commission. Yeah. So buyer's agent wants their commission. The agent that's working with the seller wants their commission. Like, come on, you gotta, that's not right at all. I feel like that just, like you said, was extremely selfish. And like you said too, like, it's like a ripple effect. Buyer got all their stuff and packed in a truck ready to go. So because the seller decided not to sell, the buyer can't move out of their house. So if they did have a house and they were selling it. Right. What if they were contingent on that? Yeah. So it's very much, and a lot of times in real estate, it happens that way. It looks like not happens like this, but it's just a ripple effect where it all is like on one person. It's either like if the seller doesn't sell, the buyer does, something needs to happen for all these other parties for it to work out. And it's very stressful for them to be the beginning of the process. For that ripple effect is kind of, because now you also, I need you to compensate the buyers now for whatever Airbnb or hotel they had to get over the 3-4 days. Yeah, they will have to. The emotions. Now the buyers are emotional. Like, we all emotional now. And stress. Because you upset. You shouldn't have put it on the market. That does not have anything to, unfortunately, do with us. You put it on the market. It started with you. We didn't. You started this. Right. The buyers didn't come and say, "Hey, I want your house," and you were like, "Okay." And we went to the signing table 2 days later. Like, no. Like, you actually initiated the process as a seller. Put your house on the market. Waited all this time, and then the day of closing, like, you know what? Never mind. I'm too emotional for this. Oh, that's not fair. I would be like, I would be so upset. I would be. Yeah. So. That's a shame. Yeah, and those type of conversations, I can't even say, I don't blame anybody but the seller. I don't blame the agent. Yeah. Because that's not a conversation. I mean, I guess it is a conversation, but that's usually not the type of conversation that you have. Like, you know, most of the time we're pre-signing regardless. Right. But if you are coming, it's like, okay, see you tomorrow, XYZ, make sure you have your ID. Right. Yada, yada. Like, that's all there is. Everybody is like showing up to play their part. Yeah. So and the seller usually will call the realtor and say, "Hey, I'm ready to list my home." I'm a little emotional about it. Right. And that can be a conversation. Okay. Yeah. And that can be a conversation that you and the agent and the seller have. And, you know, you can vent to them, you can get it all out. But for you to go through this whole process is kind of a lot. Yeah. So I don't blame anyone but the seller. And I feel like now everyone else's emotions are in it, and you are going to have to compensate for all of those emotions. Where, I mean, you could have just went through the sale and went through it. And they may have. Yeah. It doesn't have the rest on here. So I hope that they did. That. I know. And that I called and asked them. The buyers got compensated for whatever they had to scramble to do last minute because they couldn't get into the house that they were packed up and ready to get into. So lesson learned, don't do that, sellers, at all. If you're not ready to sell, just don't be ready. Just hold out for a second. It's okay. Nobody's rushing you or pressuring you, I hope not, to sell your house. Do it when you are ready, because if not, it's going to really mess up everyone else in the transaction. So, Well, thank you for joining us for another story this week.
Please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, comment, and share, and know that you can find us on any podcast platform as well. Whichever one is your favorite, we are on there. Thanks so much, and we'll see you next week.